Welcome on into the first edition of The Edge, presented by GodfatherLocks.com. I am your host, Sean Brace from PhillyInfluencer.com. And over to my right, I have the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only behind GodfatherLocks.com, Mr. Joe Eunice. Joe, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. How about this? We get a nice video set up, GodfatherLocks.com. The Edge.
Yes.
The Edge is about to start up, and I'm pumped and ready to go.
Yes, less than 2 months away from NFL kicking off, college football right around the corner.
Yep.
Major League Baseball second half happening this weekend. Lots to get into, Joe, but let's kick things off first and foremost with just refresh our memory from last year. And we're talking about NFL, we're talking about college football. What sticks out to you the most from last year? Blowouts? Was there big spreads? Easy winners? What sticks out to you the most about last year's football season?
First thing that comes to mind, Sean, is the bowl season. I mean, if you remember, the bowl games were just out of this world, whether it was a big comeback in Central Michigan versus Western Kentucky, or the championship game where Oregon blowing out Florida State in the Rose Bowl. There were so many moments where we cashed in on, and we made a capital gain on the bowls until the NFL playoff season started. And that's where we made a lot of cash, was bowl season. But to get to bowl season, a lot of work goes into it. Week 1, all the way to week 15, 16 in college football, we're moving every Saturday is crucial. So that's what stood out to me most, was bowl season in college football.
Question for you. How comfortable are you in the beginning of the season? You know, where it's a feeling out process, but how comfortable are you when you look at those numbers? What sticks out to you the most when you're looking at numbers at the beginning of whatever season it is, whether college football or NFL?
Well, the saying goes, Sean, with any handicapper, it's you jump on the beginning. Why is that? Vegas odds makers, they don't know just as much as we do the first 2 weeks of the season. They're still rusty. They didn't have a game to handicap from the year before. So if you do your research like we're doing right here, all postseason, all into the offseason, TCU, Ohio State, you're reading up on Florida State. This is the edge, no pun intended. This is the edge where you get on the books and the odds makers because they don't know as much as we do. So it's always strong to come out, hit them in the mouth. And if you notice, the last couple Thursdays that we started off the college football season, those have been sweeps or 3-1 nights because we're ready to go. We've done our research. Now let's put it on the table and make some cash.
That's right, GodfatherLocks.com. That's the website. Check it out right now. But before you do all that, you go off of units. You go off of 5-unit plays. You go off of 10-star big-time unit plays. Just take us behind the scenes on whether you stick to this game plan. If you stick to the script, you come out on top.
Yeah, and that's the key to all this, Sean. It's basically understanding your bankroll. We don't want anybody to lose their house or lose their car. No. But what we want them to do is weigh the plays. You can't go into anything and just have everything labeled the same way. There's got to be some sort of weighted scale. So how these units work, Sean, is simple. Last night, for instance, we had the American League. We love the American League. 10-star play. Every bankroll for every customer varies. I'm not telling you to bet $1,000 on every play. I'm telling you, hammer the American League. Come back, weight it the way it is. You may not have $1,000. Bet half, bet a quarter, however that may be. But follow the structure because it's not about record. Yeah. I can go 3-1, but all 3 were small, 1 big one. We don't make a profit. So that's what I pride myself in. That's why we have the loyalty program, which we'll get to a little bit later as well.
GodfatherLocks.com. That's right. Had the winner in the All-Star game, the American League.
And people tell me it was a coin flip. It's not a coin flip.
Yes.
You do a little research. I love the pitching in the AL. We'll talk about MLB too. But you got to do something. There's always a line. There's a line. There's a reason for a line. And that's what we're here for. We break it down as best we can.
All right. Well, before we do all that, let's get into what we can place a wager on right now when you're talking about football. And that is season totals, wins or losses for the NFL franchises out there. I'm asking you, Joe, to give me 3 right now. GodfatherLocks.com locks. I want 3 winners. And if you wouldn't mind, let's just go ahead and start off with what team would you want to throw out there first?
Well, first, I got to go to AFC. I got to go the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals
that's the first one.
Cincinnati Bengals who went 10-5-1 last year, and Vegas Bovado odds have them listed at this year at an over/under of 8.5. Where are you at?
Cheap. 8.5 is cheap. I mean, I'll tell you what, Andy Dalton gets criticized for him not being winning in the playoffs and not coming through when the team needs him most. Let's not forget, Cincinnati's got weapons. They got A.J. Green, they got Bernard in the backfield. Their defense continues to shut it down, the front 7. I think that's a value play. That someone fell asleep at the wheel making that line. I'd go over 8.5 with confidence. That division, again, Pittsburgh, who knows? No Palomalu. Roethlisberger's getting up there in age. Baltimore, you don't know what they're going to give you. Cincinnati is a spot, 8.5. I would take over. It won't be easy. Look at 9 or 10 wins for the Bengals.
All right, well, there you have it. Next team, give me another one.
Yeah, this is one. I love Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Green Bay's a good one.
Green Bay, who went 12-4 last year, and Bovado odds have them listed at 11. Woo, that's a high number.
It's high for a reason. I go over in that as well. And here's my point. I think Green Bay is a Super Bowl team this year. I think this is their year to do it again. Aaron Rodgers with Nelson and the weapons he has on the outside, as well as Lacey in the backfield. That's a 13-win team this year, Sean. And if it's not 13, it's 12. They're a double-digit win team. If somehow it's 11, you take the push. Push is better than a loss.
That's right.
I say you go over.
All right. And that third and final winner?
Here's a really surprising one. San Francisco 49ers.
San Fran, who went 8-8 last year, and the number for this year is 7. Bovada odds at 7. Where are you at?
This team's falling off the horse this year again. I think even further than where they were last year. Remember, Harbaugh is now the coach of the Michigan Wolverines. He's not there anymore. Kaepernick with question marks around him. I think San Francisco way too high. They're a 4-win team this year. The Niners their window has closed, Sean. I think they should have won a championship years ago. They got there against Baltimore, couldn't do it. NFC championship appearances fell short. Reminds us of the Eagles. But the 49ers go under 7. I would say 5 wins for the Niners. Tops. 5-6 wins. So
there's
under.
There's 3 season total winners for you right there, free of charge. But I want to, since we're staying with this segment here, I'm going to pepper you with 3 squads.
Okay.
All right, the New York Jets. Tell me what you think about the New York Jets, who went 4-12 last year. Bovada odds have them listed at 7.5 this year. Under, over. Where you going?
Yeah, I'm going to go under because look, no quarterback to me. Geno Smith or whoever else you throw out there, it does me no good. I don't put a bet in anybody. I don't put bets on the New York Jets. Let's put it that way. I got burned before plenty of times. It's just this is what it is. Think about it straight. When you make a bet at the window, think about what you're saying to the teller. Whether it's $500 on the Jets. To me, don't do it. 7.5, go under the 7.5.
Even without no Rex Ryan this year?
No, go under. That makes it even worse. Go under 7.5 with the New York Jets. I would stay away.
All right, and how about this one? The Dallas Cowboys, who just inked up Dez Bryant to a long-term deal. He will be in camp. Obviously, Tony Romo had a great season last year. 12-4. Bovada odds have them listed at 9.5. Under, over. Joe, where are you going?
Here's another interesting one. I think I go over because, again, this is Dallas's chance to finally make that jump. The run game is a question mark, Sean. We all know that. I think the defense is a big step up from where they were. I think Romo with Dez, with Witten, they still got it. 9.5 that's perfect. That's a perfect number. I say they get 10 or 11 wins. 2-team race in that division. 2-team race, I'd go over.
And I'm hoping the other team you're talking about is the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's where we're going to finish this segment. The Eagles, 10-6 last year, missed the playoffs. Bovada odds at 9.5. Under, over. Joe, where you going? And for the sake of Philadelphia, I'm hoping you're going to go double-digit victories this year.
I am not, Sean. This doesn't sit well, but I got to be honest. Again, this actually leads me to betting with your mind, not your heart. I am an Eagles fan, as I'm sure you are as well, but we look at it from an outside picture. I have to play it the way my mind tells me to play it. 9.5 is too much. They don't have the quarterback, Sean. Sam Bradford, again, don't trust him. I don't trust Mark Sanchez. I don't trust Sam Bradford. I do like Murray. I do like the additions on the defensive side. I'm thinking 8 or 9 wins. They may get 10, but I'll feel safer going under as it stands here in July. I'll go under.
That's fair. And that is 6 under, over total winners for you, free of charge. But make sure you check out the website at GodfatherLocks.com and follow us on Twitter at GodfatherLocks. And if you want to reach out, say something, you want to give us a little comment, a little feedback about this video, check us out and hit us up on email, godfatherlocks@gmail.com. For Joe Eunice, I'm Sean Brace. Back after this. Major League Baseball season is here.
Yep.
We are fast approaching the second half. The All-Star Game was this past week. What is something that sticks out to you from Major League Baseball's first half of play?
Well, it's simple, Sean. It's pitching. I mean, look at last night's All-Star Game. Basically, you got to have a stud pitcher. In baseball, the money key is bet pitchers. I mean, back in the day, I remember looking at the boards in Vegas, the lines would be based on pitchers, not teams. So, Felix Hernandez, Chris Sale, Dallas Keuchel. Look at the long list of guys, Bumgarner, DeGrom. Guys that can make you cash for cheap. Matt Harvey on the one game last week was minus 130. That's what stands out to me, finding value on pitchers, because pitchers, to me, is what makes the cash the tickets. Pitcher goes 9 innings, Sean, you're winning these games. How often does an offense not come through for a pitcher unless you're Cole Hamels? Not often. You're going to get runs. You're going to get, it's lots of production from a pitcher. So I look at pitchers, especially for the first half of the season.
Now, when we're talking about placing a wager on Major League Baseball and with this upcoming second half, it would stick out to me a little bit that you have a better feel for these teams right now as the second half is ready to start up. Now, is that misguided, or is there truth behind that? Is it a little bit easier in the second half?
It absolutely is, and you're right, Sean. We now have a lot to go off of. It really shows the test who can come away from the pack. August is a big month where teams start to separate themselves. Look at the Kansas City Royals, for instance. Last year they got hot when it mattered. Right now, I think they're 52-34 as of today. They're running on fumes. They have an offense that's just clutch. They're hitting on all cylinders. This is where you need to be guided based off of what do we have to go off of and where we're going next. Who's a contender? Who's a pretender? There's a lot of teams that sell at the deadline. So stay away from those teams that are mailing it in. Bet against them, not with them. So no, it is go with teams that are contending. Don't go with teams that are not.
Is there a team out there that's sticking out to you that's ready to make a push?
I think the Royals are the team. And I also think the Astros, 2 teams in the AL.
Wow.
The AL, look, I'm an AL guy. I mean, if you follow my picks every day, you'll see a lot of the AL. Well, there's the Mariners, the Angels, the Astros, the Blue Jays I follow very closely. Another team I like, Toronto Blue Jays. There's teams based off of pitching and also young talent that you can make money off of because guys in Vegas don't know a Jose Altuve, don't know a Josh Donaldson, but we do. We follow it, we make money on it, and then that's where you can get value.
What about for the average bettor out there that only places wagers when it comes to football season? What would you say, hey, come on over here and let's get in this race for the second half of Major League Baseball?
Well, I'll show you why. And right here in front of me, Sean, we got the stats for baseball.
Love stats.
The baseball season is the strongest of them all. I mean, a lot of people label GodfatherLocks.com as a college football NBA site. Not true. A $100 bettor, Sean, has made over $14,000 betting baseball. I mean, you talk about last night we had the AL. Just in the last 6 days, we made $3,000 on a $100 per bet scale in just baseball. And as I always tell you, you don't might not have to watch a 9-inning game. You don't have to know who's pitching for all we care. Bet the game and just go out. Close your app and don't even worry about it. I mean, if we have one rough night, we'll come back the next night. And baseball is really where we make our hay. It really is.
Is there a lot of 10-star plays in Major League Baseball season?
There is, because again, Sean, you'll find a team like who's minus 140 or minus 150 that we can really, you want to maximize your bet to the greatest that you can afford. I mean, you don't want to bet a guy at 180 for $100. What are you really doing here? You're risking 180 to 100? No. Go max on those kind of games. You have to stay true to your form. I don't put out plays bigger than 170, 180. I will never do so. I mean, the Phillies-Dodgers last week was minus 400 for a Dodgers game. Staying away from that. But 10-star plays are critical because we're telling you to load up on great value plays, and that's where you can make your cash.
That's right. Don't just wait for football season, people. Baseball season is happening right now, and they're making money at GodfatherLocks.com. Check out the site. Follow them on Twitter at GodfatherLocks. And any questions, comments, or concerns, please email GodfatherLocks@gmail.com. This might be our favorite segment moving forward. We're going to call this one Odds and Ends, where I fire 5 questions towards Joe, a little rapid fire style. We're going to cover everything sports, fantasy, real life, sports gambling, whatever it is. If it's sports, we're going to talk about it here. So with that being said, let's kick things off with question number 1, Joe. That's right, we're going to do a little fantasy and season prop bets here. All right, Drew Brees, Big Ben, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, Matt Ryan finished 1 through 5 in passing yards last year. Do you see Big Ben and Peyton Manning finishing in the top 5 this season?
I'm going to go no and yes. In that order. No for Big Ben, yes for Peyton Manning. And for all you criticizers out there who think Peyton Manning doesn't have it yet, I disagree. I think Peyton Manning still has it, and he's got his boy Demaryius Thomas, who just inked himself a big contract. I think Peyton Manning is a guy who will finish in the top 5. I'm not a fan of Big Ben. If I'm drafting a team, if I'm looking at the fantasy angle, stay away from Ben Roethlisberger. Pittsburgh will be looking for a new quarterback soon. How soon, Sean? That's the question mark. When I'm looking fantasy, I'm staying away from Big Ben. That's the bottom line. I don't think, even with Antonio Brown, even with Bell, even with the additions on the offensive side of the ball, I think no to Big Ben, yes to Peyton Manning.
Had a monster season last year.
He did. But I do think Peyton is, of the two, I think Peyton is the guy to finish the top 5. He still has it. I mean, who's going to write him off just yet? I think Peyton's the guy to go to.
Totally agree with you there.
Yeah.
GodfatherLocks.com had a great run in the NBA playoffs to close out the season this year. The reason why I bring that up, Joe, is because Russell Wilson, that's right, if he gets the Seahawks back to another Super Bowl this year, he is entering LeBron James territory. That's right, you heard that here. Vegas has the early Super Bowl favorites listed as the Seahawks and the Colts. Do you feel like Russell Wilson and the Seahawks will be back in the Super Bowl this upcoming season?
I got to say, I do not think the Seattle Seahawks will be back. And it's hard to go there 3 straight times in a row. And I'll tell you who's going to be in his way. It's Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, Sean. I'm a big supporter of what the Packers got going on the offensive side of the ball, as well as the defensive side of the ball. Packers is the play for the NFC. I'm also not a fan of Andrew Luck and the Colts. I may be in the minority. I'm sticking with my man Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos, even with a new coach in Denver at Mile High. I think Denver at Green Bay would be the Godfather Locks favorites for the Super Bowl. I'm not a fan of Seattle and Indianapolis. Now, will they be in their respective championships? Absolutely. Someone's got to go.
Yeah.
One of them or both of them might be in there, but I'm expecting Broncos-Packers early prediction for the Super Bowl.
You heard that here. Move out of the way, Bavado. GodfatherLocks.com's got you covered. All right, sticking to the script here with the NFL, let's stay in the National Football League. Give me one NFL division that will be predictable as far as spreads, outcomes, players' numbers, all that rolled up. You look at the AFC North. Yeah. That seems to be what everybody's circling, saying, you're going to probably have the Ravens and Steelers competing for that championship or the division crown. Give me one division that you feel like will be easy as far as handicapping is concerned.
Well, I'm going to go, instead of the AFC North, I'm going to go to the NFC North, and sticking with this Packers theme. I also think not because of how strong the Packers will be, it's how weak the Chicago Bears will be. Not a fan of the Bears. Also, Teddy Bridgewater's sophomore season, AP still got that whole question mark what happened last season. I think the NFC North might be the easiest as far as Packers at the top, Bears at the bottom, Vikings, Lions mixed in. Look, Matthew Stafford, I don't know if you're a fan, Sean, GodfatherLocks.com is not. I love Megatron, but you're looking at two teams in the Lions and the Vikings, that are looking at the 7-9, 8-8 range. Green Bay's at 13 wins. Chicago's at 3 or 4 wins. Easy to predict. I mean, that division's already closed up in my books. I'll go Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears in that order.
Circle the NFC North.
Yes, that's a lot of money to be made, Sean. A lot of money to be made. This is what you need to do in the offseason. Look at a division, circle it, and pound it when it comes football season.
Sticking with that, you just brought up AP, staying in that division. Let's mix in a little season prop bets as far as players are concerned and a little fantasy as well. Adrian Peterson is listed as the odds-on favorite at plus 400 to be the number one running back as far as rushing yards are concerned. Moving down that list, Marshawn Lynch at plus 600, DeMarco Murray at plus 800, tied with Le'Veon Bell. And how about this one? Shady McCoy up there in Buffalo at plus 1,500. Give me the number one running back this upcoming season.
Let's give you a bust first, Sean. Don't throw the curveball. Stay away from LaShawn McCoy out there. Do not put your money on him. Stay away from the Bills completely. I know we haven't touched on the AFC East. Look, Shady, a new climate. He's not happy up there. We already know what he's vocally said about Buffalo. I don't put my money in a guy who you don't know who's going to be happy, how many carries he's getting, cold weather, different climate. I go away from Shady McCoy. Now to your original question, I'm going DeMarco Murray.
Ooh.
And I'm giving Murray the nod here. I know we ripped Chip Kelly and Eagles a little bit before with the over-unders, but I'm going to go Murray because run the ball. That's what Chip Kelly wants to do with DeMarco.
Correct.
He's got two other guys to give him a break in Matthews and Sproles. I'll put my money plus 800 is gold. Lay $100 on it. Sit back and hope he wins the season rush total. I go DeMarco Murray.
Love it. Yep. And the fifth and final question as far as odds and ends are concerned, Joe Eunice, let's go down to cover some college football.
Yes.
We've been talking a lot about the NFL here. Let's talk some college football. Just give us an update on what Godfather Locks did last year as far as the college game is concerned, especially when you had that hot streak during the bowl season.
Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit to talk college football. I was hoping you'd let me talk a little college football because September 3rd, Sean, can't come soon enough. And if you remember right here on the one sheet, as I call it, a 19-9 bowl run to end the college football season, including a $100 better made over $5,000 just following the bowl games. It was a remarkable run, 16-8 in 5-star plays. I love college football. I love Saturday mornings. I text you and call you every Saturday morning, looking at the board. This is what's going on. I mean, look, this is how it starts the weekend. Thursday night football in the NFL, to me, doesn't do much. It's all about college football on ESPN. And then Friday with the nice in the lights, Friday night Mountain West games or Boise State's in action. You make your money on these games. Forget about Monday Night Football for a second. College football is what builds it to get you to Monday Night Football. So that's what happened last year. Numbers are, proofs in the numbers.
That's right.
We make our money Saturday afternoons, Saturday nights. And look, college football is my bread and butter. So.
And that season kicks off on September 3rd. That's,
yes.
A matter of fact, I just saw a little ad the other night on ESPN talking about Michigan and Utah, I believe it was. I got a little excited myself, but we'll end this segment on the fifth and final question here. TCU and Ohio State are the odds-on favorite. As a matter of fact, Ohio State favored 14 in every game already. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. But is that the championship game, TCU and Ohio State?
I do not think that's a championship game, but I am a huge fan of the Horned Frogs, and that's because of their style of defense as well as Boykin on the offensive side who decided to come back. I'm a big fan of TCU. If you remember, last year we rode them hard all year, and especially against Ole Miss in that bowl game where they blew them out. I think it was 42-7 or whatever that was. I like TCU. I don't believe that will be the matchup because, again, Alabama, Auburn are powerhouses. I'll give you a sleeper in that top 5. USC. Yeah, I said it. The Trojans of Southern Cal will be in the mix finally. They're a team that's been known to be a powerhouse for a long time. They've kind of been in the mixture a little bit. They've kind of fell off the radar. USC is a sleeper that can get in the playoff. Again, the Final Four format doesn't make it that predictable. Ohio State might be 14-point favorites every game. It won't work out that way.
Very true. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of The Edge presented by GodfatherLocks.com. I know I did. Joe, I'm looking forward to this upcoming season, and make sure you stick to the script as far as Major League Baseball is concerned. Lots of money to be made in this upcoming second half. For Joe Eunice, I am Sean Brace. Make sure you check out GodfatherLocks.com. Follow us on Twitter at GodfatherLocks, and questions, comments, and concerns, email us, godfatherlocks@gmail.com. For The Edge presented by GodfatherLocks.com, I'm Sean Brace, Joe Eunice. We'll see you next time.
See ya.